It doesn't start with a scream. It starts with silence. Every morning, the same alarm clock, the same bitter coffee, the same gray desk in the same deep Navy office. To the world, you look successful. You are functioning, you meet the deadlines, you cash the checks, and you smile when you're supposed to. But inside, something is breaking. Psychology calls this cognitive dissonance, the agonizing gap between who you are acting to be and who you actually are. You feel it in your chest every time you log in. It's the weight of a life that is fine, but not yours. Deep down, there is a voice. At first, it's just a whisper, easily ignored by the noise of meetings and spreadsheets. It says, there is more. You have a potential that is being traded for a steady paycheck. You have a vision that is suffocating in this cubicle. But fear is louder than the whisper. You tell yourself it's too late to change. You tell yourself you're lucky to have this job, so you stay. You keep building someone else's dream while your own genius slowly turns into resentment. This is the golden cage. The security isn't protecting you, it's preventing you from becoming who you were meant to be. And the cost of staying is much higher than the risk of leaving. They call it burnout, but it's actually a burnout of the soul. When you spend years suppressing your true potential to fit into a 9-to-5 box, your mind eventually gives up. The psychology behind this is called learned helplessness. You feel like no matter how hard you work, you are moving toward a destination that isn't yours. The color of your world starts to fade. The gray office walls turn into a deep, suffocating navy blue. One day you wake up, and the energy to fight is gone. The vision that once made you excited now feels like a burden, a reminder of who you could have been. This is the moment where many fall into the abyss of depression. You aren't just tired of work, you are tired of being someone you are not. In this darkness, the silence is the loudest thing you've ever heard. You feel stuck, you feel like a waste of potential. But ironically, this rock bottom is the most honest place you have ever been. It is the place where the lies of the perfect job and the safe path finally die. To rise again, you don't need a new strategy. You don't need a 5-step business plan. You need something much deeper. You need to stop hating the person who fell and start loving the person who is still breathing. They tell you that to change your life, you need a radical act of will. You need a 5-step plan and an impossible work ethic. But when you are at the bottom of a canyon, that path feels impossible. Rock bottom doesn't demand effort, it demands honesty. The first step towards your vision isn't a new strategy. It's a moment of profound self-love. Hating yourself for being stuck in the golden cage just keeps you stuck in the cage. It uses your energy to fuel your guilt instead of your vision. You are not a failure for having a job that kills your soul. You are simply a person with a map that doesn't fit your heart. To rise, you must stop punishing the person who fell and start loving the person who is still breathing. This is the compassion paradox. You cannot build a new reality on a foundation of self-critique. You need to look in the mirror and like the reflection before it can reflect a different reality. You cannot build a successful business if you are not a successful friend to yourself. Stop looking at your potential as a standard you have failed to meet. Look at it as a fire that is waiting for you to get out of the way. Healing begins when you allow yourself to be imperfect, and it's only from this imperfect breathing place that a true vision can be built. Once you stop fighting yourself, a new challenge appears. The giant. Your vision is beautiful, but from where you stand, it looks impossible. The gap between your 9-to-5 reality and your dream business feels like a canyon that cannot be crossed. This is where most people quit. They wait for a big break or a surge of massive motivation that never comes. Psychology tells us that fear loves big goals. Big goals are easy to procrastinate on because they overwhelm the brain's amygdala. To win, you must shrink the giant. You don't need to climb the mountain today. You just need to pick up one golden stone. You don't need a business empire. You need a 15-minute routine. This is the power of the minimum viable action. If you want to write one sentence. If you want to build, design one logo. When a task is too small to fail, your fear has nothing to grab onto. These tiny actions are the bricks of your new reality. Consistency is the ultimate psychological weapon. Every time you show up for your vision, even for just 10 minutes after your gray office job, You are casting a vote for the person you want to become. You are telling your brain that your dream is more real than your cubicle. Slowly, the work stops being a chore and starts becoming a routine. And once a dream becomes a routine, it becomes inevitable. You aren't just moving toward the light, you are becoming the light. As you build your path, stone by stone, your biggest enemy isn't the clock or the office. It's the old voice in your head, the one that still whispers, "Who do you think you are? You're just a 9-to-5 worker playing pretend." To silence this ghost, you must master the mirror of manifestation. Manifestation isn't magic, it's psychology. It's about training your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that decides what is important. If you tell yourself you are stuck, your brain will only see walls. But if you tell yourself you are an architect in training, your brain will start seeing doors where there were only shadows. You have to speak to yourself like someone you love and respect. Every morning, before the gray world tries to claim you, reclaim yourself. Visualize the end goal, not as a dream, but as a memory of the future. Feel the weight of the success you haven't touched yet. This internal alignment is what gives you the energy to work when you're tired and to lead when you're lonely. Words are the spells we use to create our reality. Stop saying, "I have to go to work," and start saying, "I am funding my vision." Stop saying, "I'm tired," and start saying, "I am investing my energy." When you change your vocabulary, you change your chemistry. You are no longer a victim of a routine. You are a pioneer of a new life. The mirror doesn't lie. It shows you what you are finally brave enough to become. Manifestation is not a magic trick. It is the inevitable result of a mind that refused to stay in the dark. You didn't just dream of a better life. You built it, one golden brick at a time. The 9-to-5 cage didn't break because you fought it. It broke because you outgrew it. When you align your daily routine with your inner potential, the universe stops being an obstacle and starts being a wind at your back. You no longer need to look for opportunities because you have become an opportunity. This is what it means to live with a silent mind. It's the peace that comes from knowing you are finally exactly where you are meant to be. The path is never easy, but it is always worth it. Don't let your genius die in a cubicle. Don't let your vision be traded for safety. You have the fire, you have the map. Now you just have to keep walking. If this journey resonated with you, join our community of deep thinkers. Subscribe to Silent Minds and let's build a reality where our potential isn't just a whisper, but a golden truth. Thank you for watching, and remember, the light you've been seeking has been inside you all along.